Good evening, every pony. This is Drata Arcana, and welcome to the premiere stream of Gaming is Magic. And today we have our very first premiere, and with me tonight is...
Hey, it's Gavlin over here. We have a few more. We'll see if they can join us later.
Yeah, we've been having some technical issues with some people's computers, and actually Nobuku is also with us. He's currently having some tech issues with some stuff, so hopefully he'll join in here in a moment. But today's stream is about deck and how decks function and what cards and what tech choices would be suggested for those decks.
Excellent.
So let's start this off. First things first, Galvin, what's your favorite type of deck to run, typically?
Favorite type of deck is just sort of a mid-range, is an aggro control build. Usually pink. Pink is sort of my color of go-to. And if I can't splash some white in, call it there. I think that's sort of my ideal build.
Well, you're a mid-range player. Okay. Personally, I like to aggro. I like the early game. I like to be able to get my stuff out there quick and get things confronted, and winning 15-1 is kind of like awesome.
Fair enough.
That, and I also like really, really annoying decks. If you didn't get the chance to hear for some other stuff, next week, May 6th, the Sunday of next week at 1:30, and at 1:30 will be a Sequestria draft for in Indianapolis at Game Time. You can find it on both the Reddit and the Facebook page.
Sounds like something not to miss. If you're in the area, stop on by.
It is also free entry, and there are prizes given to us by Enterplay. Those will all be surprises and so forth.
Free with prizes? That's some solid advertisement. Don't want to miss that. Everybody jump on that. Jump on that as hard as you can. Pinkie Pie jump that.
Yep, and it's a sealed draft, and we'll have about 4 boxes of Sequestria to work with. So if you're in Indianapolis, stop on by, and the store has given us a lot of support. Plus, if you're looking for Premiere sets and older, the store actually has 2 boxes of Premiere and a ton of Premiere structure decks.
Some good stuff.
Yeah. And I see that Nobuku...
We have a couple cards in our... Yeah. Nobukun's back.
Novakun has just gotten back. We'll see how well his tech issues goes.
A few of the cards we're talking about today are Premiere.
Yeah, some of them are. So let's first talk about the original script for this. Well, first let's go back into some decks here. So what is an aggro deck, Galvin?
An aggro deck, the idea is it follows the basic structure of what this game probably initially meant to be, which is confronting problems for points. There's obviously some technical aspects to them as well, now that they have the option of doing things during face-offs. A lot of these things didn't exist in the beginning of the game, but a lot of tricks that involve confronting as quickly as possible. So immediates to double confronts, per se, and options that, like, if you confront, you use some effect to score extra points. Well, you've seen in a couple of blue cards now, as well as the oldest white, Truly Outrageous.
Yeah, and a lot of decks these days, we have 4 typical style of decks. We got Farm, which is defeat your own troublemakers to score points with villains and epics. And we will be going over that kind of stuff in these streams in the future. And then we have Control, which the whole purpose is to prevent their opponent from confronting while confronting kind of one problem at a time. And then we also have Combo, which Novo, what's your opinion on combo?
Not here yet? I let the world know for him it's cancer.
What? Piles is fun.
And I play it, but it is cancer. And Pile I don't even consider to be true combo.
Okay.
It does have cards that interact. I believe there's a difference between cards that singly interact versus what defines combo in this game, and a combo in this game is an infinite loop.
True. So, anyways, as much as we like combo,
there's my bias out of the way.
There you go. All right, so if anyone's truly interested, this was going to be the original script for this stream. Stick times 30.
Stick times 30. Oh, goody.
So, Stick is it's a Sequestria ultra rare called Staphis Iconis, and it should be in every deck, which is why the original script got scrapped. So, anyways, with that out of my system, and if you didn't know, 3 resource removal is definitely not mandatory, right, Galvin?
Boy, I don't use it. I go in all deep. I'm not even worried about. You can try and slow me down. I run piles, so it's irrelevant.
So the truth is, 3 resource removal is mandatory. You have to be able to remove those Staphis Iconises. But on a more serious note, let's jump to our first card of the evening. Speaking of aggro and control, Skystar!
Ooh, this card's a doozy. There's a lot you can do with it.
Why is it such a doozy?
I think it's a doozy because taking a look at the fact that you take care of all pink entry in the beginning, looking at all archetypes, including aggro, control, combo. The thing about this card is, basically, since pink can be used in all of those, and has been, you essentially have a card that is viable in all of the most played types of decks that we currently see in the meta, as well as the fact that it's a turn 1 confront for a lot of decks as well.
Yeah, and and the reason why this is on the list for cards to include is because of the fact that Skystar is also a common, meaning she's really easy to get out of a pack or booster box, and a lot of people have a lot of her, and she is currently, I think, the best main in the core meta.
That makes sense. Her versatility is insane.
That's true, yeah. Plus, who doesn't like making things out of seashells?
That's a very valid question. I want my sea ship necklace. That's the seashell necklace.
I want my seashell decorative wastebasket.
There we go. See, I need one of those on my desk right here. I could keep my decks in them. With that in mind, what do you think the most common use of her currently is?
I think her biggest use is definitely BRB. Be right back. I see her ran and be right back. It's just there's really no reason not to use her in pink decks, I think. But personally, I actually currently don't have a deck running her, and I'd like to get my decks rebuilt with her because she's a lot of fun. But possibly, you know, aggro and control. Next card. Okay, next card, Galvin.
We're jumping straight into vinyl. Is that how you want to handle this?
Right it back into vinyl.
Some more pink. My preferred pink. My girl.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here with a gigantic vinyl plush standing next to me, so this is what I live for.
Another phenomenal main. Definitely, if you can get your hands on the Rock and Rave set, they're typically not too difficult to locate. She comes straight in it, a really easy pink main to get your hands on for a mere $14.
I'd like to think, hopefully, if anyone that's listening to this that says they were in the area of Indianapolis, in the general Midwest area at Cider Fest last year, we had a guy that just bought up a couple from a store, and Interplay donated a whole box to him, and we just went around and passing out free Rock and Rave sets to people who participated in the demos. It was a good weekend.
Yes, free stuff is always good.
So hopefully everyone has a vinyl.
I know I do.
It's a good one.
It is. So if you can get your hands on it, it's a good card, a good main to go into. Now, we have another main, and it's one that we see all too much.
Still vinyl. No. Applejack.
I'm here vinyl as well. I second that motion.
It's vinyl. I wish I didn't have to play her, but
we got
versatility.
We got Applejack, Ambassador of Honesty, aggro, farm, even control if you're really tempted.
Yeah, she's the same thing. A lot of these mains that are up here are good for what they are because of their versatility. They simply just fit into most styles of decks, which is how you have something that's so good as they are. Not to mention, not only are they good being versatile for styles of decks, but they work with multiple different colors.
Yes. A lot of these mains are going to be able to be used in multiple styles of decks, and a lot of times, it's hard to choose your main, but if you're looking to build any combination of color, the mains we are suggesting are ones that will give you your primary color really easily, are easy to get your hands on, and typically just outright shine in a lot of different areas.
So what do you think, so Applejack is obviously the best farming tool, but so what color combos best with her for what she does now? I know I would have said pink in the past. Right now, I believe that she has some other good options in orange blue. Orange blue, I don't really know if that's the best for farming or aggro, but I think that's pretty much her two colors that she goes with, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it depends how much you're willing to dump into a deck, because with AJ, if you try to go pure farming, she combos so well with pink that deck needs to be, something needs to get banned. Because of main 6 party hard being a thing right now. Currently, that combo, which we will be talking about at a later date, so I'm not going to go too much further into it. But AJ is probably the best farming card in the game right now, simply for the fact she combos really well with pink. You can use her in blue. You could totally use her in blue farming. And that's actually a cheaper way to go, because blue farming doesn't require insane amounts of money to dump into it.
Now, let me read you one there. You could also do white as a form of control, but it's a lot more costly to run white with Applejack, because those are really heavy costs, if I'm not mistaken.
What white cards go with her?
There's a few of them that play into the power counters. You could do showy to help keep your opponent from moving. There's a couple of resource cards, resource and accessories that tie into that. So it's not a lot, but there's still a couple of things, because I did build orange-white deck
So
that ran
control,
resources and accessories.
like a control farm versus an aggro farm sort of style, or no farm at
Yeah.
all.
Kind of like that.
Interesting. Very cool.
So,
All right.
so next card is one that I am particularly attached to. Besides AJ, it's going to be a blue card.
Chicken.
Chicken nugget. It's chicken nugget, isn't it? Chicken nugget? Probably chicken nugget.
It is definitely chicken.
Excellent. What do you want to say about chicken?
Probably a card that probably shouldn't have been made, but definitely am very happy that it was. No, seriously. I mean, 2 free movements at the end of your turn. Imagine DFOing with a bunch of low-cost blue cards, or maybe even with your Thunder Lane, and then just being able to move them at the end of the turn just to DFO next turn.
Pretty intense.
Really fun times, especially if you flip a guilty until proven innocent.
What kind of colors combo with Scootaloo right now?
Oh man, the list is endless at the moment. You got white.
I'm partial to pink.
You got white, pink, yellow. You could throw purple in there too. I've tried to do a blue-purple aggro deck. It didn't do too bad. 6 colors. I have a 6-color Scootaloo deck. It went, I was 14-3 and got the 15 in 1 turn. But anyways, yeah, Scootaloo, great main. What do you guys think?
I've always been a fan of blue. Blue has it's all silly all the time. Troublemakers, moving. There's no reason to not try it out. You get free moves all the time. The ability for you to confront things faster than your opponent may be able to keep up with is dumb. It's dumb and it's silly. Do it.
Yeah, that's my feeling on blue. Definitely. Next card. We are finally done with the mains. So the next card is going to be our first card outside of mains. So let's talk about this card. Fluttershy Pony Pirate. Who thinks this card is really, really dumb? / good.
Depending on your opponent and what they're running as far as troublemakers go, it's free. It's free. It's free. Because if you're troublemakers, no, it's free. It's free.
Yeah. What do you think, Galvin? What's your opinion of Fluttershy, best pony?
Boy, this voice chat drop is getting frustrating. Okay, the answer to your question is I think worst pony is fantastic at its anti-farm.
Right. And how important is that right now in the meta?
Or anti-farm, holy cow. You know what? That's you're playing the rock paper scissors game again though. If you're going up against, well, actually, you know what? The only 2 out of 3 decks are countering effectively. Because the thing is, control is going to use troublemakers and farm is going to use troublemakers. The only deck that otherwise you're not so helpful against is another aggro deck, and even aggro does occasionally use some troublemakers that reinforce movement, just like another card we're going to be discussing later. So that's the thing. She's pretty versatile. The best part I noticed about her is Swift, so that's not the best necessarily, but I do believe that's a card that has a lasting effect, so it doesn't just have that when this card enters thing that needs to again be like reused later. She's on the field and still good.
Yeah, and one of the things I found with Fluttershy in my personal experience is I've played against decks where they would put down 2 troublemakers. And actually, I had a game at Winnie City in Harmony with her where I was up against 2 yellow Paris sprites. They discarded everything in my hand but the Pony Pirate Fluttershy that was in my hand since the beginning of the game. And I dropped her and I got rid of 2 yellow Paris sprites with a single card.
Jeez. Yeah, that's what she does.
Yeah. Overall, if you're running blue-yellow, always consider putting her in because she is just outright disruptive to control and even aggro. She's still fairly good. But definitely control, combo, because a lot of combo decks are going to be running that another troublemaker that can be a little annoying. But definitely against farm, even if they have those highest level unicorns out, she is going to still cause you to be able to DFO that turn.
True. Alright, let's go mandatoriness, if that's even a word. If you're running blue-yellow, is she mandatory?
Yep. Next card. Plaid Stripes.
No? Okay.
We've beaten Fluttershy to you know.
Can never beat Fluttershy enough.
That is mildly terrifying. I don't think I'm going to be able to sleep tonight.
Alright, next one. Speaking of white and taxing, Plaid Stripes Spoony.
That is, I believe that's one I threw in. I think. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I threw that one in.
You did? Okay. I was thinking about this one, but I was like, I'm not sure how much more. We can say it's good, but aside from taxing, what kind of deck do you like to throw this in?
Anything running white where you're not like focused on aggro. Just simply because that +1 to it slows down aggro, farm. It slows down so many decks. I mean, so many decks have 1-cost cards that are so impactful.
Outside of sideboarding it, like though, is there any reason it like combines its usage with any other type of deck? Am I just like throwing in this card to a random deck with white in it? Because I mean, space is valuable in every deck. Why am I throwing this in over something that's contributing to the main point of my deck?
True. This is actually a card that I would run in approximately 2 styles of decks. I would definitely put it in control because it's a control card. But I would also use it in combo to stop my opponent from disrupting my combos.
That's a very valid explanation, actually. I didn't think about combo, but for the sake of control, that's definitely true. You know, I ran this in mono white control. There was a deck so long ago. What the heck? Sweetie Belle, the Sweetie Belle main outside of our Scootaloo main, the same set. Sweetie Belle mains abused this card, but that's another story for another day.
Now, I might be able to slightly raise you one based on a deck that I just dismantled a couple of months ago. This card would have been entirely useful with Stack of Suitcases as well. Compiling all of the Stack of Suitcases with a card like this would have made quite a few cards borderline unplayable.
That's true. That's actually a really fun combo.
That is very true. Good point. All right, next card in the list.
Who's accessorized done extra cancer cards beyond that? If they manage to get anything out, it's a good day.
Right? And actually, I have there's another card in the list that will combo very nicely with this card.
Ooh. We'll get to hear about it later. Excellent. Alright. What's next?
We got Rescue Party.
Rescue Party. Hey. You're a card.
You are a card.
Alright, it's orange. I know nothing. Teach me a lesson.
Okay, Rescue Party literally won me Winnie City. I'm just going to point that out there right now. Rescue Party, not only is it great against decks that run Staff of Sakonis, it is a 6 power flip for 4 AT, giving you for 4 AT you could also play it as a 6 power and flip an additional card during face-offs. That means any face-off. And because
it's involving that card.
Yes, I said that. As long as it's involving this card. So that means you can farm
Any face-offs.
You can farm your troublemakers with this, and you can DFO with it in aggro. I actually run it in several decks that have orange because it's big, it's powerful, and Stick is like, oh, I can't do anything. Why?
Maybe I'm slut on what Staff of Sakonis does then. Never mind. Ignore me.
Staff of Sakonis is pay 1 to frighten a friend. This card can't be frightened.
Oh, I thought you were referring to its face-off effect using your main character.
Yep, that's exactly what I'm referring to.
That's why I was confused, because I was going like, but that doesn't involve Rescue Party. But I see. Okay.
Yeah.
For the sake it can't be frightened.
So the way this works is that if your opponent pays 1 to exhaust staff to have their main face off against any one of your friends, if all you have is your main and Rescue Party, they cannot pay that 1 to use staff to cause a face off. Now this is going to slow down AJ decks. Because they will
Which
not.
is always good.
Which is always good. Because if they can't get a face-off going with Staff of Sakonis, and you have a friend and your main out all with almost 6 power, that's going to be hard to deal with.
Any other decks this can be used in?
Aggro. I actually use it in a mono-orange aggro deck. Because it is a 4 cost for 6 power, and 4 AT is really easy to bank right now. You can bank your AT to be able to play this pretty easily.
Fascinating.
And
Now, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but there was also a whole deck built around not being able to frighten cards. Considering this with Appaloosa, people getting rid of your resources, this gives you that coverage that you wouldn't otherwise have. It gives you ways out on quite a few other things as well.
It's true.
it is very true, and it is definitely a card I would recommend if you're going to be running orange. Next card.
Well, I guess I'll cover Zen's card, which would have been Ursa Vanquisher. Would have been Twilight Sparkle, Ursa Vanquisher.
We will get to that. We will be getting to Ursa.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Carry on. Never mind.
I foresaw that one too. But let's first start our first troublemaker of the evening. Starlight Glimmer Exposed Inequality.
Starlight was busted for a while. This card was like mandatory at one point.
Still technically mandatory.
still technically mandatory. What's it used in?
Farm and control. And
But how is it
possibly-
mandatory?
Okay, so farm needs it to be able to move AJ during the troublemaker phase, so AJ can immediately challenge a troublemaker. That's a standard combo with her. Also, if you get moved during the ready phase or during your opponent's turn, any of your characters, you could potentially flip her during the troublemaker phase or uncover her, and she will move one of your characters to that problem for free. That's a really good ability that you could utilize to your advantage.
It is indeed. I think you mentioned one other deck. You said farm and control. What's control going to do with her?
So control, let's say you're playing against another control deck and they've moved your main home and you kind of need your main there to cause showy or whatever. You could flip this or uncover it to move your main back there to continue the showy and so forth.
Valid. Alright. What else is she used for? Is there anything? I mean, those are both pretty good options.
Yeah, and a lot of people are going to run her simply for that free movement. I mean, I can't tell you how many times Starlight has saved me.
Free movement, always a plus.
Yeah. So
In a literal way.
So just so you know, I was exposed to inequality.
Ha.
Ha. Next card. Here we are. The card you run with. What do you run this with?
Run what with?
This.
What?
Changeling Mimics.
Oh, I misheard. I didn't hear it. What do you run that with? You don't run it. It's a bad card. Don't run it. Don't play it.
No, play it if you want to be cruel, especially with plaid stripes.
Oh god. That's a monster.
So
Oh god.
if you don't know, the way that works is plaid stripes will first, if you call events, and your opponent tries to play a 1 cost event, first plaid stripes will increase the cost by 1, and then Changeling Mimics will increase the cost by 3. Do you really want to pay 5 to belly flop something?
Oh my gosh. That's a fun one. And the answer is no. Hopefully you're not paying 5 to belly flop. Not only is it action tokens at that point, it's sacrificing something of your own and 5 action tokens for 1 removal. Don't do that. So I guess maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you should play this card. Because it combos like a beast with Plaid Stripes. Plaid Stripes Changeling Mimics new meta.
It definitely is a powerful card. And I'm looking at chat right now, and eBugle's accusing us of having too many bloops and stuff. I apologize for the bloops, guys. We're using Discord as our primary audio, so we apologize for any button presses and so forth on my end. But anyways, yeah. Nova, what do you think of Changeling Mimics?
So if I'm not mistaken, I have encountered this card before, and really depending on your deck, this card can be quite crippling. Purple with running its event cards, white and orange running its resources, yellow, blue, and a lot of times purple running their troublemakers. That's crippling. Not everybody has time to just save those action tokens while your opponent's rampaging on their side of the field.
Yeah, and this is a kind of a tricky card to get, but it's definitely worth getting even at 1 or 2, because even at 1 and 2 in a deck, it's still crippling. And plus it can be brought out with other cards, and it's not something you want to deal with on a regular basis.
With ease. The greatest of ease is how that card comes out.
Yeah, it's just so easy to get it out of the deck, and I've had it where I've lost games because of Changeling Mimics.
Changeling Mimics, yeah. No, it's definitely a make or break card. I like it end game. I like it end game when you can flip it when you're about to do a DFO and they're like, haha, I have the belly flop in hand with 1 AT. Flip Changing Mimics be. Aha.
You mean you had nothing? Nothing in hand.
You had nothing to do, but I saved 1 AT. Guess what it's gonna cost?
My guess would be 6. I hear 6 with Showy and a couple of other things. Actually, you're 9. Maybe 20. We'll make it 20.
Let's flip some double Changeling Mimics, put the full set of Pledge Stripes out. Any other possible taxation, if at all possible.
Like Showy 3 for 1 AT.
Triple suitcase.
I have done that to somebody. They entirely deserved it. You get 3 stack of suitcases. You play nothing.
Oh, no. Disgusting.
Yeah, no, I was entirely that person. You get nothing. No, goodbye. Good day, sir.
Any Bugle made a point. Plaid Stripes is unique, so you can't play all 3 at once, but just 1 is enough to cripple a deck.
Bugle, stop that. Let me have my fun.
True, there is no
I haven't seen
wrong
this
way.
chat. Where is he talking? This is supposed to be in Twitch. I'm not getting a Twitch chat.
Okay, well, just so we all know, there's no wrong way to fantasize.
Seriously though, is this in the Twitch chat? Because I've been keeping an eye on it, and I am not seeing anything coming up on my screen.
Yeah, no, it's in Twitch. I'm watching it. I gotcha.
That's very strange. I was keeping an eye on it this whole time, and it says I'm online. It doesn't even say Twitch. It doesn't even say the stream is going. Weird. Huh.
You might have to refresh your browser.
That's what. Oh, you know what? Not for we're wasting time if I'm doing that. We can discuss the card. I'll keep figuring it out as we move.
Sure. Barrel Through is going to be our next one, folks.
Barreling through. Let's see.
It's an event during a face-off. Flip an additional card.
Oh, an oldie but a goodie.
Yes.
Yeah, not old.
And this is a common from Equestrian Odysseys. I would run it in farming and aggro. You could run it in other things too, just to ensure that you win those face-offs. Because imagine playing a barrel through with a 0 power AJ, only to flip a 7 and a 7 back to back, and then have to flip again because you're tied to have someone flip a 6 and a 3.
That sounds dangerous.
Now, just to make sure, we are staying in the core format, correct?
No.
No.
Oh, so it's free game for anything that I'm relevant and aware of?
Yes.
So this card entirely helps you create, what is it? I think it's Carbo Loader, and I think a couple of other ones that give you just nothing but free extra flips, and not including or limited to the Chaos cards that they had. This would be extra filth on top of what you should have already built.
All those flip cards with Slender Mane.
There we are. Aha! I found. Did you know there's 2 Gaming is Magic channels? And that's why we have a problem?
Huh. Weird.
Spelled the exact same way.
Weird.
Oh,
Okay.
that's upsetting.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't able to get the S in R's, so.
Oh, because we're gaming magic, not gaming is magic. Ha ha ha, I see. Okay, that's where I went wrong.
Yeah, so one of the things that, when considering cards for your decks is what is that event or what is that card really going to do for you? And Barrel Through is a great way to just either flip for 4 power or pay 1 to flip even higher. And that's a good way to win a face-off when you obviously don't have the power to do it.
One might even say to help you control better the outcome of that face-off.
Exactly. Well, next card. And we're going to be doing a personal favorite of mine.
Derp. It's Derp.
It's
the true
definitely
hero
Derp.
of the movie.
Party Mare living it up.
All right, you know the deck. What is she for?
Sea Poppy. or combine her with Baby Flurry Heart just for fun. But I also run her in aggro. Her in an aggro deck is a 1-drop for complete and utter rampaging. You never know where she's going to end up, but if she does end up somewhere, you know that she's going to be +1 power. So
yeah, if you drop her on turn 1, you're pretty much set late game.
Yeah, pretty much. I've had Party Mare at 10, 15 power before. That's a lot of random locations.
Because God forbid she doesn't move where you want her to at the beginning of the turn, then for 2 cost, you're getting another power plus moving to her to where she needs to be. So that's, hey, like you said, you got 10 power up once, boom, you're at 11 at a chosen destination.
Exactly.
It's always fun.
Yeah, it's a blast running Party Mare. It's so funny to watch them just rampage all over the place. So if you're thinking
Bless her little soul when she actually makes it to the correct problem, and your opponent is now terrified that there's a 36 Weather Mare just camping out there now.
Oh God.
You just give them the soft, subtle oops as you parade around a problem.
Monstrous.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
That's about all she's got going for her, though. That's right, her gimmick. Or has she got uses outside of the movement gimmick?
Even with the movement gimmick, Traveler is really, really good for busting up troublemakers. I've actually had it where I was playing a pink control deck, and I decided to throw Party Mare in there just to beat up troublemakers. She can beat up troublemakers, given the time.
True story. It is awesome.
Alright, next card.
Well, here's the one I was lost at. I'm gonna need a lecture.
Okay, Princess Twilight Sparkle. Control, aggro, farming. It is a 2-drop for 2 power. That moves an opposing character. Wouldn't it be fun to portal this card a couple times?
If that's what you want to use your portal on.
I would use it on that. I've done it. She's really good with
Free
portal.
moves? Yeah, free moves help you out with that too. So even if you're, depending on how much does portal cost?
2.
2, yeah.
So you're essentially paying 2 to get a free move away from your opponent, which then in turn costs them 2 to move that character back if they really need that character.
And it could be done during your opponent's face-off. AJ, you got 12 power there? Would you like to move home?
That's true.
I'll take no for 200, please. No, I want to keep my AJ right where she's at, please.
Yeah, no, Princess Twilight Sparkle says, no, I don't want you at that problem. Go home.
Now, let's also not forget that this does provide you with your base 2-color purple should you happen to be running purple as an off color.
That is very true.
That's true.
It provides you with your color entry along with a free movement of your opponent's one of their characters. Now, the nice thing about these is that there's a couple of these lying around in Sequestria. One for each of the main 6. They each have their own unique abilities. But what's really fun to do is trading traditions into Princess Twilight Sparkle. Move an opposing character for free without having an actual purple character in play. And now you have your 3 purple to play something else next turn.
That sounds like a pretty decent starting play.
And next card. And this is going to be a fun one. I personally like this card that's coming up next, called Caramel Apple. So this one's really fun to play. I have an idea. I paid 2 for 4 power for the turn. I will confront that problem.
I want to play her in Octavia.
Oh, she is totally great in Octavia. Octavia, white-blue, she is phenomenal. But that's not the only place she's good in. Especially for a blue deck, anything with blue, I would run her just simply for the ability to pay 2 to play her immediately to be able to confront a lot of problems. Also, when she flips, that's an additional 4 power, actually, to your face-off. So when you flip her, not only does she come in play, but now you have 4 additional power at the face-off.
That's always good. Warriors are pretty solid. Everyone wants to flip a 4.
That is very true, yeah. But I would recommend running her in farm for a blue-orange farm deck. I would run her in that.
Yes.
Anyways, we still have a lot of cards to get through. So
might as well.
So let's keep going. The next card is going to be a very good card. Once again, it will be a Sequestria card.
Shoeshine. Another traveler.
Shoeshine. So how shiny are your hooves right now, guys?
Not shiny enough. I want her to shine my shoes.
I think they need to be shinier. I think I see scuff marks. Will somebody take care of these, please?
I think it's an interesting name. in general, they have horseshoes for sure, but is the concept of them being... now I'm questioning how they refer to horseshoes. Because we don't have people shoes.
Well, let's get some shoe shine on your hooves.
Important. There we go. Now we're talking. Throw all of this out the window. What do we got? Immediate, retire, not bring your friends to move. And then gain +1. Well. I'm gonna face up. Huh. So she self-recycles her own effect to just move and gain 1.
Yeah, so what happens is let's say you just finished DFOing. Let's say they you just finished DFOing, and now you have a home limit problem, and you just got your 2 critters from Shoe Shine. Retire both critters to move her to 2 different problems, and now she's a 3 power during the end step.
Where is she getting 2 critter friends from?
When you win a face-off involving this card, you may put a 1 power critter friend token into play. Oh, it's only 1. That's right.
Okay.
So you can retire that critter to move her, which is +1 power. And because of the immediate movement, you can also retire a friend during the score phase to move her to the other problems and confront. And every time she moves to a new problem, that's +1 power. At immediate speed for free. And then she just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. She has won me games from DFOing.
So blue, yellow farm.
Oh man.
And you can add to the fact that if there's a bunch of yellow critters spawning, this gets even worse.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, like friends are always there. I create 3 critters. Yeah, Shoe Shine can easily get out of control really, really quick, and that's what makes her so good. There is actually a combo with her. There's a card called... Okay. I'm looking at chat. Galvin, that 1 sec. Okay, well, I'm trying to figure out what Galvin's doing on stream.
He's back.
He's back.
He has returned.
He has returned. Welcome back. So Shoe Shine has a infinite loop combo with her called Banquet Baking, Shoe Shine, and Squabble, which causes infinite Shoe Shine movement. And the way this works is you move Shoe Shine. Because you moved a character, you may exhaust a character to move another character. So when you move her to Banquet Baking, you create a token, exhaust that token, move Squabble up to create another token, which then you retire the exhausted token to move Shoe Shine again, only to exhaust that current token back to move Squabble, only to move Shoe Shine by retiring the exhausted token back to Banquet Baking.
And since it's immediate, it's pretty much DFO every turn.
Yeah, I've had Shoe Shine with that combo get up to 4,000 to 6,000 because I could do it infinitely.
And the question becomes then, is this cancer? Is this something that needs to be looked into?
Cancer. I heard cancer.
I heard
it's cancer. Anything that loops more than like 3,000 to 6,000 times is cancer. Kill it.
I would
fire.
I completely agree. I think anything that starts to have an infinite option becomes something that needs to be checked.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is this is an infinite combo for pink, blue, yellow that appeared in Sequestria. All 3 cards are Sequestrian cards. Oh, and not a single one of them is a rare.
Jesus. Beyond being something that can cause like a DFO, the problem. Okay, I think the real cancer cards that need to be really checked is something that also involves scoring points. So if you can only score like, if it can DFO every turn, the real situation here being, can I OCO? If that's something that can occur, then I believe that needs to be checked. It doesn't sound like that's the case here. Realistically, if it's only DFOing every turn, I'm sure that's something that will get examined, but likely not removed.
Yeah,
because DFOing every turn is something that can happen regardless.
Yeah, but it's kind of hard to win a face-off against a 6,000 power friend.
I'm just saying belly flop is a card, but
true.
I'm just saying that's I think there's more answers to this than there have been to infinite loops in the past.
Yeah, and I agree with you there. And I think that's why we haven't really seen it in competitive play yet. We see Shoeshine in competitive play, but I think people are not running the infinite power loop in competitive play simply because of
it requires the problem.
It requires a problem that you have to either color fix into or run that color of.
Right. Exactly.
Exactly. Anyways, next card is a fun card to run.
Yeah, it's a pretty fun one.
Betrayed. So anyone here...
That needs to be its own archetype. That's Frighten. There's combo, aggro, control, and Frighten.
Frighten is totally its own archetype. Do we gotta vote for Frighten being its own archetype?
Dude, I've done it.
My buddy has done it.
All right.
Do you just build a deck straight around Frighten? There's no control aspect to it. There's no aggro. It's not even playing to win. The way I won my Nationals invitation like 4 years ago was just playing a Frighten. It was like blue-purple with the not even the actual other main. What was that? I forgot what main I was using. But the whole idea was just things that would have loved this card. All the blues that like extra exhaust to get more Frighten. And then you just score when you could.
Watched my buddy. I was at score 14. I literally had one thing to sneeze at before I won. And he stalled me with his deck for 15 turns until he won. I will never forgive him for it.
Oh,
it was pure blue. I will never forgive him.
This card would have been so fantastic. I guess that still makes it fantastic, really. Let's see that comeback. Let's see Frightened decks make a comeback.
Yeah, and
that motion.
Yeah, I'd love to see Frighten come back. I definitely see it becoming a tier 2.5 maybe, but I don't see it being competitive, unfortunately. I've tried to build a Frighten deck around purple-blue. If it's not in harmony, it's kind of challenging to do in core. But overall, great card for including, not even in just control. You could run it in control, aggro, and it's a 1 for Frighten, meaning that you're actually getting a gain off of that. Because it costs your opponent 2 to rally. So, because it costs them 2 to rally that Frightened friend, you paid 1, they have to pay 2 for it.
Or 3, depending on the cards that you run, and I think that card's in Harmony format anyway.
Yes, and that's Scaredy Cave, I believe.
Yeah, you get to pay an extra amount to unfrighten unfrighten your friends, and that quickly starts to stack up when your whole board is frightened.
Exactly. And next card. And this is one of yours, Galvin. Galvin, you still there? Sorry guys, we're having some tech issues definitely tonight. We're going to have to work out the kinks in the future.
So, yeah, I'm here. It's just, I don't know, the mic, I guess, drops every now and then.
Yeah. So
disconnect, reconnect.
So this is one of yours.
I went for obscurity. When I was picking out cards, I went for pure things that just don't have a purpose anymore, or a purpose that's super obscure.
So tell us a little bit about Aloy Totally Relaxing.
My Allo Totally Relaxing pick is based off Anti-Farm, which is like my least favorite deck to go up against. I'd say it's about the gist of it, really, though. Simply anti-Applejack. Or realistically, I mean, yeah.
I can totally see that. I mean, this is a card for 3...
Anti-staff as well, to a degree.
Yeah, it is anti-staff to a degree. And here's the thing, is that so many mains these days want to be boosted. And stopping them from being able to play cards during the face-offs involving their main when their main is boosted means that during any face-off, they can't play things like Bailout. They can't play, all those immediates that would disrupt your deck. So it gives you the advantage during face-offs.
Specifically because it doesn't restrict you from playing them, just your opponent. My favorite part. I think that's about all there is to this card, though. It has a very straightforward use.
It does. Next card.
Oh, wait. Double my card. Haha. Excellent. The poor man's, I don't even know. Whatever the other blink card is.
Poor man's interdimensional portal. And
there we go, thank you.
And I like this card. Honestly, I was thinking about running this ×3 with interdimensional portal just to be like, I can portal even more.
I do. This is back when bulk biceps was legal. I was running 3 of this along with interdimensional portal just because it was the same thing. It wasn't as nearly as time effective, but still reaction. So and at the beginning of a phase or whatever you need to do. Still, blink effects are always helpful regardless of when they occur, as long as you're using them on the right card.
Yep, and
I have some ideas with this card. I don't want to discuss them at the moment because it's not towards deck development. It's kind of be off topic, but maybe one day we'll talk about some other uses for this because I have some big thoughts in mind for the way I'd like to use this for this year's Nats.
Yeah, and we will be getting into these types of things in more detail in a later stream. So let's go ahead and move to the next card. And this is an interesting one coming up. And I personally like this card.
I think it has ways to be busted, but I'm not sure I've seen them implemented yet. Is it just really hard to play? I mean, for its cost, it's sort of difficult to abuse anything that happens during the confront step otherwise, in my mind.
Okay, so Similio Duplexus. Here's an idea. I have the ability to DFO this turn for 3 points, Why not just score 7 with 4 at the cost of 4 AT? So the way this works is when you play it during your main phase, during your score phase, if you can DFO, you will confront both problems, and then you will confront them again, scoring 1 point each time. That's 4 points for 4 AT. And then
for 4 AT.
For 4 AT.
Here's the way I have the problem with that, and the explanation is really good on paper. It's 4 AT plus whatever it took to get you that DFO, which sometimes it's usually all of the action tokens you have available at that during that turn.
Yeah, this is definitely a card where you're going to have to conserve to be able to use it. But the moment that you play it, I mean, it's never going to be as fast as something like Trihorn Bunyip or, you know, anything that's DFOing every turn. But it will definitely be a catch-up mechanic that without things like Night Glider or Trihorn Bunyip, this card alone can score you easily 5 to 6 points for 4 AT. But you have to save up for it, and you have to strategize around it. Now, what's really fun to do is to play Simio Duplexus, and then during the face-off step with a bunch of friends at your problem, play an Awkward Silence, which ends the face-off.
And then just get the, then things don't flip. Haha. That's clever.
I actually use that in one of my decks that we will definitely talk about at a later date.
Woot.
Any thoughts there? Any thoughts, Nova?
No, actually, most of what I would have said or could have said, you would have already have beaten me to as far as explaining the card. Because I've watched people do dual face-off with less action tokens, and scoring twice for 4 AT is just asinine, and it's silly.
That gets pretty good.
Yeah. Next card. And this is going to be one of yours, Galvin. But I love this card too. And I just played my deck using this card just today for 213 power on a friend.
$213 power, huh?
Highly motivated.
This was not one of mine.
Oh, was it?
I love Highly Motivated. This card was one of the ones that I suggested.
That's right.
And I like Highly Motivated.
I don't suggest orange. That will be my for future reference. I don't suggest orange cards.
Okay. You know what's really fun to do with this card? Play a 2-cost priority mail, which at the end of the turn, that friend gets, you put a +1 power counter on a friend, and then put Highly Motivated onto your priority mail. Every round, get an additional 2 +1 power counters.
Now, wasn't Priority Mail one of the new cards, either Defenders or Sequestria, if I'm not mistaken?
It was Sequestria. It was, it's called Pirate Crew Priority Mail. It's a 2
the big
for 2 power, 2 orange wrap, which gives a +1 power counter at the end of the turn. Well, you put this on that priority mail, you buff it up to 4. Now it's protected by Appaloosa, and then it's an additional 2 power counters every round.
That's always good.
That's always good. Yeah, that's really good at 2 cost.
Continuous effects, man. They are really OP.
And this is why we say run 3 resource dismissal. 3 of them. Because resources right now are really devastating. Next card. And this is another really fun one.
Woot. Here's mine. Now we're back. Yeah, this is what you play with Perfect Teleport.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That would be fun. But they would still get their friend back. Even if you perfectly...
To belly
We
flop
talking about
it.
Sugar Bell?
Something.
Yeah, obviously you'd belly flop it or retire at the... Something.
There's obviously optimal times to use every card. So, yeah, when you do that combo, the idea is that, of course, you would... The way I see it, and the way I probably would end up using it, this Perfect Teleport is specifically so that you put it in at the beginning of the next turn. So, Teleport is at the beginning of any phase. You can do it during your the end of your turn. Right. And you have Sweet Sugar Bell come in at the beginning of their turn to try and steal something that maybe color locks them.
Exactly, yeah.
Early game.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, and guys, we're starting to run out of time, so we're going to try to get through these cards as effectively as possible.
Nope, well, it's card self-explanatory. We can jump.
Yeah. The next card is one that I personally like. And I would run this in an orange deck. Definitely, especially one revolving around power counters, Burst of Strength. I mean, seriously, play that on a 26 power friend or a 26 power counter friend that starts out at 4 power. That's 30 power. Oh, let's make it 60. Oh, for another 2 AD, let's make it 120. Let's use another card to move those power counters around. I mean, seriously, it's such a good card, and there's so many ways to get power counters now for so little cost. If you're looking to run orange, you may consider power counter route or, other routes. The power counter route is going to be so much less expensive, but this would be a hard card to get your hands on. But it would definitely be worthwhile if you're trying to build a deck around it.
Burst of Strength, right?
Burst of Strength, yeah.
Makes me think we've invented...
Allows you to double your power counters. It's silly. It's great.
It is. Alright, next card.
Yep.
Now here's one I kind of enjoy a little bit. Coco Pomel is up next.
Card we're not allowed to say the name of anymore. Good times.
Set designer.
Billy Pomel. Yeah, I suggested this one. It's again, when I was going for ones, I was going for limited use cards, maybe something that hasn't been seen in a meta deck in a while or at all, but definitely deserves a possible place. In this case, this is this guy's niche ability of the 1 less 4 events if no one else is there. There were combos back in the day that existed to simply ruin the game when events could cost 1 less. And this provides that opportunity. It's just in much more obscure times because it requires that your opponent has no such opposing friend.
Yeah, and that Showy is really nice too, because if you can stack Showy on a problem, this is really good.
Exactly. Oh boy, that is hey, then yeah, if they do manage to look like they're gonna, what is the opportunity? Granted, if they're trying to confront the other problem that this is not at, it's a free belly flop, technically.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, it wouldn't be a free belly flop because it's to a minimum of 1 AT.
Oh, you're right. What else is there? What could be done? You know what? Any number of things. Running out of time.
Yeah, any number of things. We could talk about that kind of stuff later. And this is one that's really good in aggro decks, especially with blue. And it can be ran in blue control too.
versatility with this card is immeasurable.
Yes.
I think this card is always going to be relevant, no matter how the meta changes.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
this card is always going to be something that's going to be used.
Cloud Chaser, Flexible Flyer is just you exhaust this card to reduce by 1 the cost of your next friend you play this turn. That applies to even 1-cost friends. I mean,
now, if you weren't there and available for this card was absolutely filthy at the start of it. You were getting,
dear Lord.
if you ran all 3 out on the field, you were getting 3 costs for free, or literally anything under than 3 for free. It was absolutely the worst.
Combine that with the fact that friend removal was not nearly as frequent. This card was amazing. Yeah, you
When
have to
she
turn
hit
one of
the
these.
field, you couldn't get rid of her. She was there forever, like a stain on a permanent record.
There was Frighten. Frighten was like the sort of good alternative to countering this card.
yeah.
And that was about it.
You were lucky.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, it's just such a good card. I actually had to go out and get my hands on 3 of them just so I could run them in decks.
It's pretty good.
It is.
Pretty good.
And she can be played in a variety of types, too.
That's it, really, yeah. All deck types make her viable. But again, her use is straightforward. I'm not sure how much more she needs to be explained.
Yeah. Next card. And this is one that we will finally get to. One of our fellow streamers has been up for 40 hours moving, so we will talk about this card for him. And I will let Novo take it from here. Explain our fellow...
So, just to make sure, we are talking about Ursa Vanquisher, and I loathe this card with every fiber of my young soul. This card, let me scroll down for a second, and it has a fairly decent cost for what it's going to do, and it costs your opponent a total of 2 action tokens for each friend that they're going to have to move back, assuming they don't have anything worthwhile. I have watched young Zen here use, I want to say, a couple of action tokens and prevent you, what is it, 2, 4, 6, 8, costing you 8 action tokens in a turn, which he'll just play again because he's already got the action tokens free for it.
And E-Bugle is saying it won him Gen Con too, so there's something to consider as well.
Yeah, the card is rude. It holds a special place in my lighter territory of things to burn first.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I mean, the versatility of this card is also really good. Even if you're playing like aggro purple, you may try to get your hands on it. Once again, it's a hard card to get, but if you can get it, it's totally worthwhile.
Now, I will say, as a person who cloned friends, it is entirely just as fun to clone the mess out of this card and use it against somebody.
Ooh, disgusting.
Queen Chrysalis identity theft, anyone?
Not just that. Use Sugar Bell. There's a pink card that will duplicate a friend, and now you've got 2.
Oh man, yeah, dip in the pool would be really good with this too. But once again,
that's the one. Dip in the pool.
Yeah, and we'll get to all that, all those combos and stuff in later streams as well, and we'll go over those in more detail in the future. But for right now, let's get on with the next card, a resource. Again, that is from the original set.
Oh, yay. Another one of my suggestions.
Heart's Desire. I hear Heart's Desire.
I love this card.
Heart's Desire.
You know what? I threw in a lot of my old favorites that I thought might still have like a surprise factor in today's meta. You don't see it. I personally haven't seen this in many of the top 8s posted on the Reddit, but I do believe that with staff being as dominating as it is right now, this would be such a fun card to try and just get some extra AT every turn.
Oh, staff with that. I pay 1. I won the face-off. Guess what? I'll get 4 AT. Oh, 1 AT to go into 4 to get 3 additional AT. Oh, that is filthy.
I've watched this card be used quite a few times, not just with staff, but other decks that cause face-offs at random intervals. It gets up there real quick.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. You know what though? That's paying 3 to get 4. But yeah, because with staff it's the pay 1 to get the face off, but 3 to get 4. Hey, you know what? You basically just have to guarantee you're going to win the face off, which with staff, it's not impossible. There's always ways to make sure you're doing your thing.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's still a one game in the end. So you're gonna end up with more AT than when you started the combo.
+1 AT and a Frighten of the Friend.
Exactly.
That's pretty solid. And hey, if it costs you an action token to make something happen during the face-off, then it's a free Frighten.
Exactly. But once again, another straightforward card. Kind of a tricky card to get your hands on, but if you can, it would probably be worthwhile to at least consider it in a deck.
Fair enough. All right.
Next card. Okay, there are a lot of new cards in the Sequestria set that are just really good to consider. This is one that in Harmony you should run it.
Jesus. Yeah, this is the anti-DFO.
Or RTO. Capper.
Anti-RTO. No, RTO. Yeah, I guess technically.
Because you have to move her home. She specifically says move her home, score the bonus.
During the score phase. Alright.
Yeah. This stops Shoe Shine. It stops Thunder Lane. It stops RTOs from getting bonus points. I mean, this card can shut down a lot of decks for 2 power. For 2 AT.
He's got his thing going on.
Yeah.
He's the only downside to him is I think you have to I'd find you that just with the color cost, he might be something you need to run on your on color, which with white is sort of hard to do, unless it's like Octavia, I guess. But 3 color and the off color early game is sort of hard to acquire.
Yeah.
Sort of a mid game card, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And plus, you can always color fix into him and stop a lot of things from happening.
Right.
On the Other Paw is definitely something you should always consider when building white, because it would slow down a lot of decks, and that would be good. I would definitely include him in a deck if I didn't have a bunch of more useful cards for aggro. But now we're going to get to a card from Sequestria that if you are going to run pink-white, and the 3 of us are big pink-white fans, so we all know what that means.
Man, 2 cards in a row for me? I'm feeling good about this day. Alright, Bodyguard. Bodyguard is, it's one I've yet to acquire. I'm actually kind of mad at myself for it, but I know I need one. And it's because I love running Octavia is like my heart and soul deck. Octavia and Vinyl decks. And in Octavia Pink, this card is crazy.
Yeah, this is a card that has decimated decks before. And I've seen this ran in Blue Fairies, Trotting Dead deck, and so forth. And this is a really, really dirty card. Imagine putting 14 unicorn tokens in the play because of all the removal from pink and white combined. Now you have 14 unicorn tokens. Your opponent decides to try to start a face-off there. That's 14 AT coming your way.
I'm slowly learning this card and how broken this gets. will verify this gets broken really fast, especially if you're removing, I don't know, a bunch of pink friend tokens that are now officially useless. Just sack them all.
I like to do it with Princess Cadence, where when your friend leaves, you exhaust to get a copy of it back into your hand.
And no, I'm sorry, not tokens. Just random friends. I forgot. It can't be tokens. It's random friends.
Yeah. And
Not token.
And then, if you really have to, you can feed all those tokens to something else. And guys, we're almost through. We got 4 cards left in the stream. So let's see what our last 4 cards are going to be. Another Sequestria card. So who likes being able to splash power? Lots and lots and lots of power.
Ooh, me.
I'm willing to learn about this splashing of power.
Critter Choir, Cheerful Chirpers. When this card enters play, put 2 Critter Friend tokens into play, then each of your characters here gets +2 power. Then each of your characters gets +2 power until the end of the turn.
Not just there.
And not just there. All your characters. You know those 2 tokens that just entered play? Yeah, they're actually 3 power. Oh, I have an idea. Let's combine this with Octavia Main.
For 4 cost DFO.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. The amount of power you can get off of this card is at least a minimum of 10 for 4.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
4 AT for 10 power is really devastating during a single move. And it's worth it to put it in anything white-yellow because it's going to allow you to DFO all that much quicker.
Would you run 2 or 3 for its cost?
Honestly, when I was running my white-yellow Octavia, I was running 2, and there were times where I wish I had a 3rd for it. Because it was kind of game-changing. So.
Yeah. Alright. I think we're good on that one.
Yep. Now, we got 2 blue cards coming up as the last ones.
Moving to the end game. Woot.
Moving to the end game. These are 2 cards that I have ran in decks, and they have destroyed decks before, and they're pretty easy to get your hands on. First up, let's talk about everyone's most awesome Pegasus.
I wish this card was easy to get your hands on. I can't even get a single one.
It's Derpy Hooves. I heard Derpy Hooves. Favorite
Yeah, there we
Pegasus.
go. There we go. It's all about...
Let's talk about Rainbow Dash Pony Pirate. And how do you get a piercing in a feather? That's what I want to know. I'm sure that question's been brought up before. Just that one piercing. And the goggles. I mean, come on. The goggles. You know, I actually had to go back and watch the movie to make sure that they were wearing the outfits. There was no outfits in the movie that looked like that.
No, it's all OG art. And that's okay.
I know.
Sometimes we do that.
Yeah, sometimes we do that, but that's fun. But this is a card where if you can combine it with things like pirate ship, free movement, and so forth, this card becomes devastating as a repeatable
Lyra
fright.
and Bonbon as well.
Yeah, Lyra and Bonbon. Yeah, so this is definitely a card that has seen a lot of play in blue-yellow as kind of a substitute between Prince Rutherford. And honestly, I prefer Rainbow Dash Pony Pirate over Prince Rutherford, but Prince Rutherford definitely has its niche uses. So
I think it's just because it's immediate and they can't already see it on the field. It's not Rutherford's a surprise. This one is something that they have to prepare to avoid.
Exactly. Yeah. And if you don't deal with this is almost as crippling as a Night Glider. I mean, try dealing with an aggro deck where they frightened 3 of your friends just because they moved a character 3 times. That hurts.
Yeah, that'd be pretty intense.
So the next one is a dilemma. It is a goodie and oldie, and everyone knows it. It's the last card on the list.
It's a nightmare card for a few years ago. My God, go back in time 3 years, and that card is still stupid. But
yeah,
I use it. It's a good card. There's no really other way around it.
T-Rex
Any aggro deck can use that hard.
T-Rex Reign of Terror is a card that is seen even today in a lot of aggro decks and even some control decks with blue. 1 AT, 5 to confront. When you confront this problem, you may frighten a friend. You know what's really fun to do? Have your opponent play 2 troublemakers into play, and then you drop a T-Rex Reign of Terror, and then they drop another troublemaker on it. Or you play a troublemaker on T-Rex Reign of Terror and just confront it.
Yeah.
Yeah, to sit there and confront T-Rex Reign of Terror, frightening all their friends every turn. I have won games because of Frighten, because my opponent does not want to have to rally stuff. 2 AT is
a meta.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not bad, not bad.
Not bad. Alright. So anything anyone wants to say? Closing thoughts?
Yeah, how do I get my hands on a Pony Pirate Rainbow Dash?
You attend the May 6th in Indianapolis at Game Time. Sealed draft at 1:30 p.m.
That's some pro advertisement. I love the voice.
Free entry too. Don't forget that. With the chance of actual Interplay prizes that are a surprise, with a bonus surprise that I think is going to be very big.
I'm sorry, I have ADD. When and where?
Once again, May 6th, next weekend, at Game Time Indy, at 1:30 p.m., free entry in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Alright, everybody heard that time, I think.
Yes.
We good.
Sorry, I've gone deaf. One more time. No, I'm kidding.
We cannot stress that enough. You should
temporary aneurysm. I need that one more time. All right.
So once again, everyone, thank you for joining our premiere stream, going over decks and cards. Once again, just so you guys know, go ahead and check out Commentary is Magic is starting in approximately 30 minutes. If you are interested in seeing more content, please watch their stream. They are going to be going over their patron deck reviews and a matchup. I believe it's between Anemoy and I'm forgetting who it's against, but check out their stream. Hop on over there if you're looking for more content. They are, I believe, reviewing one of my silly decks. I submitted to them a silly deck, so I hope they review it. Thank you for everyone to checking out this stream. Once again, we hope to see you next weekend. And next Sunday, we will be going over 3 or 4 cards. And those 4 cards are yet to be decided, but we will be talking about combos with those 4 cards. So we will have more information midweek, and we will be submitting that information approximately Wednesday. These videos will be up on both YouTube and Twitch by the end of the night. So, and I will submit those links also into the Facebook. And once again, thank you, every pony. I am Drada Arcana.
I'm that one other dude, Gevlin.
And I'll be your side host, Novaku.
All right. Well, have a great night, every pony, and we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.
Peace.